developers note here for the roadmap basically, and everything that we're going to be getting. So I don't want to read everything because that would be a lot of reading, but we're just going to go over it as quick as possible and as simple as possible. So um since launch, yeah, whatever. According through this roadmap, we aim to introduce reduced save data farming difficulty through zero system improvements, which is needed, a roguelike experience that pushes beyond existing limits via Chaos Assault, and it just ends right there. But I believe there's other game modes that we're going to be having that's going to be super fun. Memory manipulation items that allow save data editing in roguelike modes where save data is not earned. Our core development goal is to restructure the play experience so that through repeated engagement with end content independent of save data, players can naturally reach the practical limits of the decks they envision. So I think it's clear that they're definitely listening to the player base. So first off, we have season 2 updates, world expansion, and codex improvements. Within the codex, a unique option called divine intervention event will occur at a certain probability by encountering the gods and clearing these events. The Zero Archive will be unlocked. Through the Zero Archive, you will be able to learn more about world building elements related to the gods. Each god may also grant access to special fate with powerful effects. So basically, we're just going to be able to know more about the gods and so on and so on. But it's interesting that they say each god may also grant access to a special fate with powerful effects. You know, those fates could be powerful, make our runs a lot more easier and simple. I'm with it. Here we have the agent collection will be improved and a new archive will be added where you can view monsters equipment by planet in one place. In addition, a new lore collection covering terminology, characters, and events will be introduced as well. So any of you lore heads, that's you. Now they're basically going to be improving the psychological counseling. Yeah, it's simple, we don't really need to read over that. Interaction feature improvements, touch reactions will be added for combatants in the lobby, cafe, and restaurants. Yeah, I mean, that's just whatever, right? I know there's probably going to be a certain fan base in the game space that are going to be liking that. But here, Galactic Martial Arts Tournament event, new content will be added where monster cards obtained by defeating powerful enemies can be incorporated into your save data and used in combat. So Galactic Martial Arts Tournament event, obviously a new game mode. I don't know if it's it's a common goal game mode or if it's permanent, but yeah, the fact that we're going to be able to get monster cards, obtain them by defeating powerful enemies, and we're going to be able to incorporate that into our save data is pretty cool, especially if those monster cards fit certain characters. And I'm guessing since you could just incorporate it, I guess the whole fate thing, fate memory won't matter with the monster cards through this event. So I think this is pretty cool because when you play through Chaos and you get monster cards, you kind of don't want to put them in your deck because they take up so much memory fate. So I think this is a cool way to to give us a new game mode and allow us to also incorporate monster cards into save data that we have. So I think that this is actually really smart from them. We also got new monster appearing for the first time in Chaos or Nightmare, and a massive new monster featuring destructible parts will be introduced. They did end up showing various monsters, and them just having evolutions and stuff like that. And also you can see here a massive new monster featuring destructible parts will be introduced, which I think is pretty cool. It just adds to the gameplay. I think the first couple times when you fight the boss, it'll be pretty cool to see, but I think over time, like, no one's gonna be carried anymore. But I think it's pretty cool to add to the battle. Here we have season board medals. Just think of this as flexing. Simple as that. Spiral Tower of Screams. This is going to be another game mode with 150 floors. You're going to be able to get rewards such as token, stickers, and growth currency. But yeah, it's just basically going to be a game mode that's coming out in January, I believe. 150 floors. I think it's definitely going to be fun as hell and interesting. And yeah, we're going to see how challenging it could be. Here we got the growth difficulty care, proto sync system, and growth adjustment system. So the proto sync system will introduce temporarily scale a selected combatant's level, potential, and memory fragments to a set threshold. This allows untrained combatants to be deployed into Chaos right away, making it easier to test various decks compositions and deck building strategy. This is such a big W. What? Prior to the Proto Sync system, a new mode will be added to Galactic Disaster Chaos that allows any combatant to be deployed immediately during the season with their level stats scaled to an appropriate growth stage. even without potential or memory fragments. Save data can be still can be obtained as usual, allowing you to freely and comfortably experience with deck building or prepare decks in advance within Seasonal Chaos. I think this is a big W for sure. Here we have save data presets needed. That's what I'm saying, bro. Borrow save data, pretty self-explanatory with the name, and you're gonna be able to borrow save data. Each friend's save data can be borrowed once per day and can only be used in simulation dungeons. So it's cool, but I mean, yeah, whatever, right? Guild office. I don't know how I feel about the guild thing. I just hope there's a reason to be in a guild, man. Weekly mission requests can be accepted through guild office, completing objectives like boss subjugations or chaos purification rewards players with large quantities of crystals of discord and growth currency. Let me get guild bosses as well. Screw it, just put it in there. Let's just have guild bosses, man. Even though we're gonna get so much content, just give us more of a reason to have guilds in the game, bro. Don't just be one of those games that just adds guilds. Yay, join the guild, you know, do a little bit of these, get rewards, and that's it, bro. Yeah, man, I don't know, I'm just tired of that. Zero system upgrade rework. So basically skill tree for seasonal chaos, simple as that. But you know, it's definitely going to be unique. It's not just straight up HP boost, defense boost, attack boost. There's going to be stuff to do with divine epiphanies and so on, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be cool. Here we have unique codex edition. A unique codex will be introduced, offering completely different experience from standard chaos gameplay through fixed level design and special objectives. So when you're basically when you're, you know, getting worlds, you could get a unique codex instead of those worlds, and obviously it's going to be just something different and new. Here we have season 2 balance adjustments. To be fair, we could skip majority of all of this. Just think of it as them trying to balance things, and you know, allow you to expand the meta, use different characters and gameplay, because they don't want you to be using a specific team and specific characters only. They want you to be able to use, you know, a variety. So here we also have first common cards with low adoption rates will be improved. Second, heal mechanics for controller combatants. Nia Ray or Leah Cassius is going to get buffed. Third, underutilized builds, unique cards and epiphanies, including those related to Yuki, will receive buffs. So you could think of every character getting buffs because of this. 4, some partners passive effects will be improved, so basically another buff there too. And yeah, just stuff like that. And I think they're not gonna nerf Cassius interest, but I guess you could call it a nerf, but they're just gonna, you know, fix them because they're a bit too OP. So there's that. Here, decorating captain ID card, that's just whatever. Memory fragment management, the UI layout for managing memory fragments will be improved for greater clarity. Preferred main and sub options for each combat will be highlighted, making memory fragment management more intuitive. Instant upgrades will be available through a separate pop-up, and upgraded options will be clearly displayed. Then other quality of life improvements, story skipping, so on and so on. And here we have season 3 update, Chaos Assault. So think of this as chaos, normal chaos, but a lot more harder. Yeah. And you know, they talk about how it's going to be optimal strategies and simply surviving the run. Chaos Assault is a new content designed to further embrace the roguelike experience. Who wish to experience Chaos Assault and Nightmare more deeply as a roguelike. So if you really like the roguelike, you should really like Chaos Assault basically. We are also developing this as a high difficulty mode featuring stronger and more varied monsters along with new penalties. So yeah, I think Chaos Assault is definitely going to be super fun when it drops. Here we have Purification Mode. Purification Mode is a content where combatants must be deployed across multiple areas to defeat malware codes to restore a hacked system. So I don't know if you're typically going to be playing it, or if it's going to be like one of those ones where you just, you know, dispatch them there and you just leave it and you just come back within a certain amount of time or something like that. But yeah, just another game mode. I don't think it's going to be too time consuming, but yeah, just a little one, I think. Here we have challenge mission per combatant. New challenge missions tied to each combatant's unique mechanics will be added. Completing these challenges rewards special stickers for that combatant. We also have the growth guide. The growth guide system will be introduced, providing information on required currency, recommended memory fragments, and partners for each combatant. Recommended base setups, potential thresholds, and priority rankings will also be presented. So I think that's definitely a big W, especially for, you know, people that play this game and probably don't watch videos or guides on characters. So, you know, this will definitely be a dope for them. Here we have corruption. One of the most interesting things to confront the escalating threat of chaos, combatants will gain access to a new power. Corruption is a new growth system designed to enable combatants to challenge stronger chaos threats. Beyond simple stat progression, corruption introduces new effects and skill changes. New effects and skill changes that allow existing combatants to shine in new ways and enable fresh build possibilities. Like, this is gonna be so, oh my god, bro, this is gonna be so good. Corrupted combatants will also receive unique breakdown visuals, dialogue, and designs, revealing an entirely new side of each character. Yeah, this was big, bro. This was big. The system will be rolled out sequentially per combatant. Oh, and is currently targeted for its first release in season 3. So we're gonna have to wait until season 3. But yeah, per combatant. Then, you know, key mappings, trauma code, voiceover, and scenario improvements, and that's pretty much it, man, for the roadmap. So a lot of things, a lot of changes, a lot of game modes, a lot of quality of life, and combatants, partners, and just a big W in my opinion, a massive W. The only thing that I'll question is probably the whole guild thing. I just don't think there's really a point of it, but hey, whatever, right? And yeah, that's pretty much for the 2026 roadmap.